Hello guys, welcome back to Dimox Design Creatives, and today we're just going to have a continuation of what we actually did yesterday. Yesterday we had the introduction to Figma. We actually tackled this the left side of Figma. We checked on the main menu, where we saw all these items. We also checked on the move and scale part. We checked on the frame and slice. We checked on the shapes. We checked on the pen tool and the pencil tool. We checked on the text and all that. We also checked on the naming or titling of your project or your activity. So today, guys, we want to have a continuation of what we did yesterday, and I believe we're going to be at par. And if you didn't actually catch up with the previous lesson, please go to lesson number 7 on the YouTube channel that I am always that I always put my channels on, so that you can catch up. And we also have a lot of theory. We have a lot of lessons to do with theory. If you didn't start with the theories, it will be good for you to start with the theory, so that we can have a good move at par. So today I want to have a continuation of what we did yesterday, and I want to take you to let me make the screen look nicer. So I want to actually take you to the next part of Figma. We tackled this top part, or the left side. I told you this is the layers, the layers panel, where we have all the layers. If you do something, if you bring in a box, or you bring in a shape or a text, the name or that text or the shape has to be on this part, so that you can play around with it, with the arrangement of the titles of what you've been working on. So we also talked of assets. We said assets are actually, it's a point where you can access your tutorials if you are stuck somewhere, basically the components. And then we have a page, which I didn't actually talk about. A page is where, if you have different sets of tasks that you want to do, and you want them to be separate, you can start with page 1. Like for us today, we are going to page 2. So today we will work on page 2. Page 1 was introduction to Figma. So page 2 is a continuation of what we were to do, or what we are to do. So we can rename the page. We can start with page 1, and maybe we can rename the page and say this intro. We can say this is the intro, and then page 2 we can say it's a continuation. We can say this is a continuation. Good. So we talked of before you start anything, you must start with the frame. And I told you, when you click on the frame, a plus sign comes on the canvas, and then on this other side you are given the opportunity to choose from where do you want to host or house your work. If you want to use your work on a desktop, this is the measurements for desktop. If you want that, if you want to change to iMac or anything, or you can decide to actually do your own. So today I want us to check on desktop. That is the size of a desktop, 1440 by 1024. So I told you, you can always rename your your elements. This one has come in as desktop 1, which I think for me it's okay. I will not need to name it. So I will check on what to do next. So let's drop a shape here. Let's drop a shape. Let's drop, say, a rectangle. Let me increase the rectangle to that. I told you you can always, if you don't like these corners, you can change the corners by either clicking on it, and then you come here to change the corners to either 10, or you can decide to have a corner to change to the corner radius to change by 20 or something of that sort. So we can decide to change the color of that shape, and then let me see which color will look nice. This color looks good for me. Now if I want to have this shape, I want to have some words on it. I need to have some words on it. I will pick the text part, and then I just write what I want. So welcome, let me say welcome to Figma interface. So if I want to increase this, I told you there's always the scale. You can scale it to your size of your choice. If you want to place it here, look at this color is dull, so maybe you want to place this here, and then it won't be looking nice. You can increase the size of this so that these words, this message can get inside there. Still it's bigger, you can reduce so that you can see it fit inside. Good. Now look at this. These words cannot be clearly seen, so we can do something. We can change the color. You can decide to have it look red. So from the look of things, these words are separate from this shape here. This button is separated from this. If I want to combine them, I can either press Control G. If I press Control G, I will if I highlight them first, don't do Control G first, highlight them all, pick them all together, then Control G. If you pick them together, Control G, you can see that I have made it one actually. But if you want to separate them again, you highlight them again, then Control Shift and G. If you do that, Control Shift G, let me see, yeah, Control Shift G, I have separated them. If I want to, either I don't want to use the shortcut, I can highlight them all, and then I right click. If I right click, I can ungroup them. If they were grouped, I can ungroup them. So if I ungroup them, yeah, you see this one is alone and this other one is alone. If I want to group them, if I don't want to use the shortcut, I highlight them all like that, and then I right click, and then I can always group the selection. If I group the selection, then when I move it around, see. So today I told you I want us to check on this other side of the Figma interface. This is the properties panel, and on this side you can see the alignment of the text. If I say I will align my text to the right, it goes to the left, it goes to the left. If I want to place it at the center, it comes to the center. If I want to place it at the other side of the frame, that is right side, it will go to the right side. If I want to have it on top, it will go on top. If I want to have it at the center, it will go to the center. If I want it to go to the bottom, it will go to the bottom, and so on and so on there. If I want to distribute vertically, if I want to distribute horizontally, I can always do that. So the next part is this part where we have the X and Y. X and Y means it's the numbering, or how you placing it. If you place it here, the X and Y changes. If I move it there, if I bring it down there, the X and Y keeps on changing. The reason is because on the frame, every point, because you said there's a ruler here, every point you place your object or your shape, it has to change something. Or if I want to change the width and height of this shape, I can always come here. Currently the shape, the height, the width is 952 and the height is 129. So if I want it to be 1000 by 200, I will definitely change it. So that's it. If I want to have it maybe not to be at 0 degrees, I want it to be at say 90 degrees. If I have it at 90 degrees, that's what will happen. It will be go to 90. If I want it to be at 360 degrees, I will have it at 360, which is definitely 0 degrees. I will take it back. If I want it to be at 180 degrees, it will definitely be at 180 degrees. You have to highlight it, click on it so that the properties appear. So let me take it back to 0. Good. So if say for example you want the corners to be different or the corners to be deeper, so you can change this. The round corner currently is 25. You can change to 50 to increase the round corner. You see the shape has actually increased. You see the shape has actually increased the round corners. And if you want to have it to change the layout of the shape, or you want to bring it to change the layout, you can definitely change the layout. Currently we have a mixed layout because of this. We have two elements that we are working on. If you want to bring constraints and resizing, there's always a lot to do. We have hug contents, and you can create a line right. This line, you can see the line here, place it at the right. If you want to place it on the left, the right side, this is at the center, and then the left side. If you want to bring it down this line so that you can have a look at how, if you want to bring it the other side, there's so much. If you want to fix the position when scrolling, definitely you can do that. On the fill part, we have you can make it linear. You can, if you don't want linear, you can remove linear. You can decide to remove the linear. If you want to remove the linear, you can remove the linear so that you can work on this side. So currently it's a solid shape, so you want to change to linear, you can always change to linear. And when you change to linear, you can decide to have different colors. You can decide to have it bluish color, and I told you every color has a code. From the look of things, this color is 54592. If I hit somewhere else, the color code changes. This color palette provides a color code. So this one, if I want to increase the blue, if I want to reduce the opacity so that you can't see anything, or you just see everything, you can do that. You can decide to change it to radial so that it looks a bit different. You can even change to angular. That's the shape of angular. That's how it will look. You can decide to increase the angular to there. You can return back to there. You can always play around with angular. If you want to change the shape to diamond, you can do that. Increase the diamond shape. You can do that. You can increase the opacity so that the view can easily be seen. You can decide to change the color and bring in something else, and either you can do that. If you want to reduce this text, you can ungroup so that you can easily reduce this text. You create you can ungroup the text so that you can easily fit in this text here. So you can right click and then ungroup so that you can reduce this by scaling it down. Let me scale it down here, and then when all right, I didn't ungroup, so let me scale it. Let me ungroup this. It's already grouped, so it's already ungrouped, so I wanted to reduce this so that it can fit this. See that? Good. So I see it is not coming the way I want. Let me reduce it further so that I can have it inside there. Alright, so you can do that. You can Control Z to get back to where you were. That's where we were, and then we let me group it so that we don't have issues. So we were at diamond. We can check on something else. We can decide to make it be looking like an image. So on the image part, you can reduce the exposure, you can increase the exposure, you can make it look like that. You can play around with contrast, you can play around with saturation, you can play around with temperature, you can play around with tint, you can play around with highlights and all that, and all shadows and all that, and then you're done. So that's your shape. So down here you can decide to have a stroke. You can decide to have a stroke. You can decide to have a stroke of, say, stroke at the borders, say stroke of 15. If you do, you can see at the edges there's a shadow that comes out, a border, sorry, and then you can have it outside so that the border comes outside. It increases the size of the shape. You can decide to change the color of the border so that the stroke looks something nice, something cool. Yes, that's it. You can decide even to increase the stroke by either 15 or 20, or you can say you can have it 30 so that it increases. You can decide to make the border be at the stroke to be at the center. That's it. So you can do so much with that. So, and then the colors that we did select, you can decide to change the colors that we selected. Yeah, good. So you can do all that. You can also add effects. Effects is about dropping a shadow. Either you want to have the shadow be blur, the layer should to look blur, or inner shadow or background blur. So let's have a shadow there. Let me see if a shadow will come in handy. If I put a shadow of 80%, will it make a difference? There is a shadow on this button here. I did put let me increase the shadow to, say, 100% so that it can increase. If I zoom in, you can see the shadow is here. Good. So that's it. So if I want to export my work that I have done, this is where I click. I can preview. This is what I have done, and then I can choose the format of my work, whether it's an image I want to download, or I want to export in form of PNG, JPG, SVG, PDF. The choice is yours, so I can have it be PNG, and then I can decide to have it 2 times zoom in, sorry, and then I can decide to have it exported. So if I export, it will take me to my local PC, so I can decide where to save it, either on desktop, documents, and everything. So for us, I think I won't save it, but we will have a continuation of the next lesson, so that I can take you to the next level, so that we can do something else that will be nice to have. So thank you for giving me this time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following up. Thank you for the views you guys are giving to my channel. If you didn't understand this part, you can always start up with the first the first lesson to the interface. that is lesson 7. If you are new to this, you can start with theory. I have more videos on theory so that you can catch up, so that we can move at part. So thank you for your time, thank you for everything, and may you have a good time as we wait to release the next lesson. See you on page 3. Thank you.